What's up? Good morning. Welcome in, guys. Good morning, sir. Welcome in. We'll start going through analysis. It's going to be a little bit quicker one today, guys. But I'm actually going to be live after this on YouTube with Chart Fanatics this morning. Typically, I do those on Friday. However, there was an emergency with the other guy, Marco. So I'm going to be switching with him and running the stream on Chart Fanatics this morning. So we'll go through pre-market analysis here for a few minutes, check things out. And then after this at 9 a.m., if you guys jump over to the Chart Fanatics YouTube page, we can stay on for the live trading session. And obviously, as always, for those of you that are in the Flipping Futures group, I'll be running that stream in Discord as well. It's a bit faster stream if you join in there. Good morning, Tobias. Good morning, Daniel. Good morning, Abis. Hopefully I said that correctly. Xavier, good morning, man. Adam, what's up? What's up? Good morning, guys. So we got some stuff to talk about this morning, right? This thing is getting wild already here in the pre-market. So a couple things. Let's just go over some fundamentals to start the day here. You could see, looking at Market AI, if you guys like this tool, I have a link for it in my description of the video down below. I got a discount for you guys in there, so check that out. The Bank of England interest rate decision held the same. And obviously we had this spark in volatility, this solid drop off here in the pre-market at 7 a.m. this morning. I don't know if that was entirely that. I also was looking at, I don't see it on here, but I was also seeing headlines on some Intel pages that I follow for news information. Iran, IRGC, looks like they captured and boarded some oil tankers. And I saw those headlines surfacing around the same time as this Bank of England stuff as well. So, excuse me, sorry. So that could be adding some heaviness to the market, just with people possibly speculating that it's going to derail kind of the peace talks and de-escalation with the whole US and Iran nuclear talks that were scheduled to go in a couple days. So couple major things going on. As far as news, let's check out the economic calendar. I'm filtering out just for the United States news, and high and medium impact is what I always look at. So not sure if the JOLTS news is actually coming out or not. It didn't come out the other day. I don't know. I'm not really tracking on that. Jobless claims coming out at 8:30. That just came out. So that's one thing. What else? I think that's mostly it for today. Nothing too crazy. We have some bill auctions later, not too crazy. The big one tomorrow is going to be the Michigan sentiment and consumer credit, but mainly this Michigan consumer sentiment at 10 a.m. Does anybody know, are we not getting NFP data? I see that's removed. So with this whole government shutdown thing, I haven't seen that. I'm assuming that data is not coming out now. I don't know. This is a confusing government shutdown because it's like a partial government shutdown. I thought maybe a deal had been reached, maybe not. Can't hear me? Are you guys able to hear me? Let me know in the chat. Can you guys hear me? Yeah, it might just be you. Everybody else can hear me. Yeah, so lots going on here. I'm unsure honestly about NFP. I see it pulled from this tool. Let me look at some others. that would be super interesting because it would be second time recently we've had an interruption with data release and stuff. Yeah, I'm not seeing that on my Bloomberg calendar either. So Michigan consumer expectations will still be out tomorrow at 10 a.m., but it looks like maybe no NFP, which was the big one. So interesting. Let's take a look here. This report, what's going on? So we've shifted to broad weakness across many different assets, neutral to bearish. This has been staying neutral to bullish over the last few days. Looking at QQQ and SPY. Weaker than expected ADP data. We knew that already. Hawkish Fed. Pretty much same thing we already know. All right, let's get into the technical analysis. We'll briefly touch on this. Again, we're going to be going through more analysis on the Chart Fanatics live stream, so you guys are all welcome to tune in on there at 9 a.m. So here's the daily chart on ES. You can see we've been in this channel that I've been talking about for a while. We're right into the lows of it now. So this is like a major key demand area that we're coming into on ES, right? And ES has been relatively strong comparatively speaking to NQ. So this is that area, really 68.60 to like 20s is a kind of a key area, right? We had a significant amount of buying here. This was a major area of demand that formed. And then we held off of it again here. So this is a major area of demand that in the near term bulls would want to hold. You can see recently we've dipped down here multiple times. We continue to bounce off of it, but bears every time have keep driving price down there, keep driving price down there. So in the near term, it's looking to stay weak. We continue to make lower highs, but kind of intermediate, longer term, we're coming into a key area of demand, which makes it, again, a little tricky for us, where the momentum is going for the bear side right now, right? For sure. I've played puts the last 2 days, and those have done well. But now it's a little bit at a inflection point where, okay, now we're coming into some key areas of demand that we need to watch out for. Drop this in the game plan channel here. All right, let's look at the daily on NQ. You can see this is kind of this area where we had been previously holding this trend line, or at least right here. We tried to test off it once and 2 times, and then yesterday we broke through it. We just did a retest of it in the pre-market this morning and have dropped. So we've got a firm break and retest under these prior lows going on here. So continuing to see relative weakness on NQ, led by a lot of different software names leading that down. The next area that I'm watching would be this area down here around this prior swing low, and you can see how we had kind of a double bottom there. So that's like really the only next area that I see is like a key downside area. So weakness across the board with both ES and NQ, relatively stronger weakness on NQ, but we're also coming into some key demand areas now after we've sold off, pretty extensively now for a few days / week. All right, so let's get a little cleaner view here. 4-hour chart. And this is where we start to see the picture better. All right, so ES, this is a key level I've continued to watch around these 68, 66s. It was previous resistance. You can see just on this 4-hour candle here how we closed under it, broke down there. And then when we recaptured around here, look at this. We recaptured once. Look at that upper wick on that 4-hour candle, came all the way back, dipped down, and then held there again. So this is just an area that has maintained to be a very pivotal spot after we formed this key demand area that I have highlighted in blue. So we're testing it. We've tested it now 1 time here, 2, 3 times there. Now 4 times we've wicked under it a little bit. It'll be important in the near term to see if we hold that as a low or if we, pop and fail and reject there. If we do, then I don't see much stopping us from going to retest this area where we previously consolidated and rallied out of, right? So this is that last swing low demand area. We'll possibly watch this cautiously to see if structure shifts from here today or tomorrow. I probably will not be trying to catch an absolute bottom if the market continues to downtrend in here, right? I will wait to see us bottom, maybe form a consolidation, rally out of it, and hold a higher low. At that point, then I'll probably be more interested in going long if something like that forms. In the near term, until then, I'll probably continue to have to lean on the short side as long as pops continue to fail and use these areas as a target. Now let's take a look at NQ. I don't have so many levels on NQ here because it is exceptionally weaker. Let's go back a little bit here. So hopefully you guys can see this, but we have this little consolidation area here on that last major swing low down here where we had all this selling, right? Kind of if you look at the volume there, it was kind of a capitulation type drop there. That has held a number of times above there. That's right around 24,800, which we dipped under and held so far. So let me mark this over here. So this area, 24.6 to 24.8, would probably be roughly equivalent to the demand area that we'd want to see supported on ES, which I talked about, which is around 68.20 to 60, right? So 68.20 to 60 and, this area are relatively similar areas of demand that we'd want to see hold. ES's demand zone is higher overall. It's been relatively stronger overall. But these are 2 key areas that we'd want to see if we form a bottom in and recover off of, or if we continue to break through and break down. If we continue to show weakness in here and there's no sign of life from buyers, then the next thing I see is just the next lows to target. Makes sense? Now, if we can hold above here today or tomorrow and we shift structure back to the upside, then I'd probably be looking at these areas if we don't get a pop into there where those sellers broke down prior lows or these prior highs, just as a short-term trade. Right. Now take a look at the volume profile here. Take a look at ES. So we had prior day lows where we built some volume and recovered. It was actually a pretty nice recovery on ES. And then we consolidated it overnight. I was actually coming in this morning thinking, you know, this was a nice consolidation if we had a break and retest and recovery back over after this recovery. But no, that news and stuff came out. We broke down pretty firmly. And you can see this area here, we left a low volume node on that strong breakdown. So I'd be watching out for this area. If it retests and fails, to possibly play short on a retest and fail and target that area of demand that I talked about, 68.20 to 60s, which we already kind of hit. Or if we, especially if we do not get a pop-up there and we continue to sell off, consolidate, hold a higher low, then I could use that as a target for longs if we form a bottom and get a good entry model there to go long and target that low volume node. If we retrace into that and recapture it, then it could also indicate strength that we're going to go take out the highs of this previous consolidation. Take a look at NQ. Similar structure here on NQ, although again, and we've seen this day in and day out recently, is that we had a relatively stronger bounce yesterday on ES, whereas we kind of still held at towards the lows around the point of control. So if we look at these point of controls area on NQ, come on, you stupid. Right there, around 25,000. You can see we consolidated around that and then broke down, continuation down. On that breakdown, we have this area of low volume. We just kind of retested it right there a little bit, didn't quite pop into it, but we're already rejecting off of it pretty hard here this morning. So we already got one pop into there. Seems like a lot of stuff is already kind of playing out here in the pre-market, which is a little unfortunate for us, right? When I see trade setups already play out in the pre-market, I tend to not like them as much. But if we get a pop up into there where we see significant selling reject, that will be an interesting area to possibly look for shorts. I'd probably first just be looking to break prior lows on that. However, if we do recapture above that and hold above that, then we could be going to take out prior highs. Now, setups that I'm going to kind of avoid is we already have a pretty extended downside. I'm gonna, if we continue to just melt down without an entry here, I don't want to really chase shorts into the lows. We're coming into some key areas of demand. Remember that 24.5 area on NQ, that 68.20 to 60 area on ES. So I don't really want to chase shorts to the downside today. It's already extended lower. If we just straight melt down from here, then it's just kind of a situation where I'm just going to stay cash and sit back and wait for a good opportunity. Make sense, guys? And in all fairness, I already took a nice little 25-point scalp on NQ this morning. I was coming in to do my pre-market analysis, and on the breakdown there, it didn't last long. Ultimately, it didn't last long, but just to give you guys a quick little trade recap. Here, let me screenshot it. On the break of prior day lows, here, you can see how I saw the cumulative delta declining. So sellers were getting less and less interested as we came into prior day lows. And then I saw a really large aggressive buying step in right there. You can see that blue bar and the cumulative delta. You can see how it flipped here. So as soon as I saw that, I took it long here around 24,820. And I had a stop just under this bar here under like 24,810. So I was risking like 10 points. And I was just targeting a nice recapture back over this 20 EMA. There was prior swing highs up here. And as soon as I saw the tape slow down, I just cut it. It was just a quick 25-point scalp on NQ. I rarely take trades in the pre-market, but there was a lot of volatility and that looked like a nice little opportunity. So I already took that trade in the pre-market this morning. All right, guys. So that's going to be a wrap here. We'll be back on the live stream on Chart Fanatics. So if you don't have the link for that, check out the Chart Fanatics live YouTube channel. The link is in my story on Instagram. So check that out. I'm going to drop from here because we're going to be live on there. Yes, Dino, I'll be live on Chart Fanatics. All right, guys, I'll see you back over there in just a couple minutes. Peace.